Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Good morning. Checking to see how this sounds. Good morning. Checking to see how this sounds. Good morning. Checking to see how this sounds. Why does the video seem to be in a loop? I don't understand. Good morning. Checking to see how this sounds. Why does the video seem to be in a loop? I don't understand. Good morning. Checking to see how this sounds. Why does the video seem to be in a loop? I don't understand. Good morning. Checking to see how this sounds. Why does the video seem to be in a loop? I don't understand. Good morning. Check it to see how this sounds. Why does the video seem to be in a loop? I don't understand. All right, let's do a top-down analysis. This is a NQ, or specifically micro NQ, and it is 8:31 on today is June 10th, 8:31 a.m. Eastern Time. And this is what we have here for our weekly time frame. We are in the middle of this large SIBI here. We are in the upper quadrant. We opened slightly below where we closed end of last week, and we moved above, taking out liquidity above the previous week high, which had taken up above liquidity above the previous week high, the white before that. Came back into the SIBI, and well, let's see where the rest of the week continues. We've had quite a number of bullish weeks going back in the last. We're now in the middle of the 9th week. So we have a small BISI down here. We have a bullish weekly inversion over here. We haven't tested it. Don't know if we will. We have this down close candle in the midst of the leg upwards. And then there's always the all-time highs above us, and the question is if we're going to go back up into the range of this wick, and or when will we? Let's go down to the daily time frame. All right. So on the daily time frame, remember we're in the middle of that weekly SIBI, which is roughly around here. Our weekly open was here. Question is, what's most likely today, Tuesday, second trading day of the week? We didn't really have news yesterday, don't really have news today. Tomorrow, we have CPI. Thursday, we have PPI. And Friday, University of something, inflation expectations. So, not sure what the weekly profile will be exactly, but in all likelihood, right, if we're going to continue higher, and this is Monday, right? If we're going higher, so this was Monday. So Monday we had a small range day, and this is today. We're in the middle of today. Another 8.5 hours before the day closes at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We've had a high retracement, another push-up retracement, and a third push-up. I don't know if this would qualify as the triple whatever he calls it. But nevertheless, we have definitely been in a bull market here for the last few months, right? From back in the beginning of April 7th, when we had this smart money reversal, retested the BISI over here. Well, I guess technically it may not be a BISI, but then we retested the order block, pushed back up, and we've certainly been losing steam a little bit over here. So I don't know if we're just consolidating for another big push up, or if we're going to see another retracement before we go higher. So looking again, so today again we don't have news. Excuse me. So let's pull up the midnight open. So let's go down to another lower time frame first. Yeah, clean this up a bit. We got too much on here. Actually, there's a daily volume imbalance. Let's see if we can. I'm going to clean this off. We have other things. All right, looking at the 4-hour time frame here, what do we notice? So 4-hour, we're definitely in a bullish price move, right? We've the last big bearish leg was here, closed above, I guess closed above here, or wicked above here. Not so clear on I've heard ICT many times say even a wick above would be a change in state of delivery. I'm not yet clear as to when to trust that fully. So we've changed the state of delivery, retracement, pushed up again, retracement, pushed up again, retracement, back into this BISI over here, back into this, actually let's take this off. All right, got way too much clutter that's way past time to clean up here. Came back down into this bullish order block. Okay, we also were testing or revisited this bullish inversion, right? So this was a SIBI, we inverted, and so it was a bullish inversion for value gap, came back down and respected that. So that's another thing that we did over here going back a couple weeks back, or a week or so ago. I'm going to take off a lot of this. This is the previous week's low. So we still have, we came back down, as we were saying. This is after having this significant wicking upwards over there into a 4-hour SIBI from back in on February 24th. So we wicked in there and were rejected roundly. Came back down, found support here. This was arguably, I mean, if we look at the range from here to there, how far down did we come? Came just below consequent encroachment of the dealing range. I think it's fair to measure the dealing range from there. I suppose we could, of course, measure it up to there, even down to here, in which case, similar result, right? And over here, maybe we're into the 62% or so. So we retraced into optimal trade entry, or at least into discount, before pushing up higher. And on this leg, again, we close with energy above the open of this leg lower, or even if we want to include this, or even that. Retraced a bit. Let's measure the retracement of this leg from there till there. Move this to OTE settings. This, we did not come back to consequent encroachment, right? So it was a more shallow retracement. Then pushed up again, came back, came down a little bit, kind of a bearish candle, pushed up yet again, closing above this 4-hour SIBI, but immediately coming right back down, leaving a nice long wick down there, open again with this doji candle. This is a 4-hour candle, so it's a nice chunk, right? Opened, wicked up, came back down, came all the way back up and closed exactly where we opened, right? The open is at 829 and the close is at 829.5. So we closed half a point above, 2 ticks above where we opened. All right, then we opened again. This is the 6 a.m. Eastern today, and we wicked down and then moved up, and we're currently a little below the high of day. It says relatively equal highs. We got to update the label to high of day. Pre-market high of day, that is. Previous day high is up over here. Let's mark that as previous day high. We have this 4-hour very small volume imbalance. I'm gonna take that off because I know we might reuse the volume imbalance, but again, it's just too cluttered, and we have other PD arrays to keep to guide us. What is this? It doesn't even respond. Not sure what that is. I don't know why I can't get that off. I'm just going to rerun the page here. right. Let's continue where we left off. Still don't know what that is. It is a call out. Is it all stretched somewhere? I almost didn't even click on this. All right, let's just delete that. All right. Oh, hello, everybody. Streaming this mostly for me because it gets me talking out loud, analyzing the charts. But if you find it helpful, fantastic. So I feel like dropping a note in the chat. I'm learning, making progress, and happy to study together if you'd like to join me. All right. Okay, so we were in the middle of a top-down analysis. We're at the 4-hour level. I discovered, while cleaning up this mess, discovered a line I couldn't figure out what it was. So let's move this. All right, I'll do that after. Okay, so we had just crossed above this 4-hour SIBI, dropped back down. This is today's price action or overnight price action. Wick down, didn't take out liquidity into didn't go into previous day low. Opened and closed. Opened, went down, closed half a point above where we opened, and then opened, wick down a little bit, and now we're pushing up. This is the current. That's where we are right now, at just 10 minutes to 9 on the today, 10 minutes to 9. I forgot what I was going to say. Just checking something. Hope the audio is good. Let me know in the chat if there's a problem with the audio. Earlier, for some reason, I'm new to this. It seemed like the video was just looping. Hopefully, you're not hearing the same thing again and again. All right, so what's most likely? We don't have news today. What is most likely price action going forward? So this is the dealing range. So I would say that overall, we're bullish. We've been pushing higher. However, we are starting to show signs of possible retracement, not necessarily reversal, but retracements can be quite significant, as we see over here. Right, what do we have here? This was 650 points, or over here, 230 points. So are we at a point where we're going to see a retracement? So we put in this balanced price range overnight. This is 6 p.m. open, and then that's the 10 p.m. Candle. We pushed up, turned around, came right back down. We've got this SIBI that's being respected, the 4-hour SIBI. We closed above, but then we came right back down. There's a possibility that that we're starting to see a retracement, and I don't know how likely that is, but let's try to figure that out together. We put in the high of day in terms of pre-market not that long ago. We're going to go down to the 1 hour in a minute, but this previous day low is sitting right above a 4-hour BISI, right? Previous day low. We'll just put on here intermediate term low, which lets me know that it's sticking into a fair value gap, a BISI. And over here, it's also, relative equal lows. What is this? This 16 points away. That's not so far on a 4-hour candle, or even less, even lower. So I'm seeing this as our current dealing range, which is from Thursday's low to yesterday's high, and draw a fib on there. We're certainly well above consequent encroachment. And if we're going to have a retracement, there's a really good chance that we're going to go below consequent encroachment of this dealing range, right? So here's the 50% mark. That's, very likely. We may not go all the way down. We may not go below Thursday's low, but that really will depend on the higher time frames. But I'm going to focus for now on the 4 hour. I don't need to look higher for framing trades in the coming, couple of hours for sure. So we're definitely in premium, and we have reasons to think that we might be heading down to discount, including that we have these relatively equal lows. We've got the imbalance over here. We've got 50% consequent encroachment and so on. I'm taking that off now. All right. And we also have, let me just let you see what this is. This is the weekly open. We opened the week at this level. So going back to weekly, actually let's, that would be over here. So if we're going to see tomorrow on the CPI and then PPI on Thursday, and then whatever news it was on Friday, if we're going to see price, let's say maybe we're going to have it's possible that we put in the high of the week. I'm just trying to imagine the possibilities here. It's possible we put in the high of the week, we're tracing back down, and maybe we'll end up with a bearish candle for this week, possibly. If that's the case, then Monday, Tuesday is what we have so far in this candle. Could be Wednesday, Thursday we have news. Wednesday, tomorrow is I think it's the biggest news. CPI or PPI is quite big too, from what I recall. So would we begin going lower today, and and then maybe go higher tomorrow or lower tomorrow? It's hard to know. I'm not really sure. I'm just trying to figure this out, trying to learn how. This is something I'm learning to do. Kind of projecting, thinking through the weekly, how the different daily candles would possibly move to add up to a weekly candle. So let's go back to the 4 hour. But even if we're going to end up higher today, it's still very possible that we come down. It's not a huge distance. It's 150 points from where we are now down to this liquidity. That would give us down to here, and that could be that we have maybe we put in a bearish candle today, and then the rest of the week we go and close even higher. That's certainly a possibility. We're on daily now. Or or maybe, not sure. All right, let's look at the candles that I personally find easier to predict, and that's 4 hour and lower, as certainly today. Where, again, if we're looking at this range here, we're in premium. If we look at this range, we might still be slightly in premium. Let's see. We are slightly in premium, right above the 50% is over there. It's a little hard to see. That's 50% over there. So as of this moment, we are slightly in premium. So there's still a possibility of dropping into discount. Let's go down into hourly. Let's see what we notice here. And also let's clean up the chart. All right, midnight opening price. That's today's midnight opening price. We are below midnight opening price. We pushed up before midnight. and then we drop. This is the balanced price range that we saw on the 4 hour, which was just showed as a one candle up and one candle down. So we have this previous day high, although technically it's part of today's trading day. I still tend to label these as previous day high because it falls on the left side of the date line. Then midnight open was here. Looks like we're off a little bit. I'll move that, although I can't think of any reason why it would be different if we did it on the 1 minute, which is where I originally put it. Open was 21,938 3/4. That's where we are. Okay, so then after midnight open, we've come all the way down, and on the hourly at least, we put in a market, a change in the state of delivery, maybe a market structure shift, not sure. Change in state of delivery as we dropped here below the opening price of this leg up. So I'm going to mark that off. Just put that as a bearish CISD, changing the state of delivery. And this is 1 hour. It's because we closed below this. I mentioned earlier, I know ICT has talked about that you don't need to close below. It's enough to wick below for a change in state of delivery, I believe, or market structure shift. I got to review some of that. But I don't fully know what to focus on when, so I'm just speaking it all aloud. All right, and then in the meantime, we retraced back up. What did we retrace back up into? We retraced back up into this hourly SIBI and into this hourly bearish inversion. So we had this BISI here, which we inverted. We have another one over here, but we've got enough that other things. I don't need to mark that off. High of day, I'm going to mark that off more precisely since we've since moved there. We wick down into this BISI. If we're going higher, do we need to see that we come back down here again? I don't know. I guess what I would want to see, like if we're going higher, meaning that the target is previous day high, right? If our draw is going to be previous day high, then we'd probably want to see that we displace upwards and then come back into that BISI and then push up higher. That's what I'd be looking for if we're going higher. If we're going lower, and that would be that, we'd be looking to take out here or maybe even come all the way down to these relatively equal lows on the 15s. Look at the low of this hourly candle here. I guess I can change that to a relatively equal low on the hourly. So we have the low of this candle is 21,732, and the low of this candle is 21,732, precisely the same, relatively equal lows here. Very likely that we're going to come back down there at some point soon. And then we also have this previous day low, right, and which is an intermediate turn low inside the 4 hour BISI and also 1 hour BISI. And what do we have here? This is an inversion for value gap that we have been respecting, right? So I've left it on, but we are getting a little crowded here. So I think I'm going to take it off because we have other things that we could be paying attention to guide us. So if we're going lower, then I would want to see maybe on the 15-minute or lower that maybe you'd want to see us displace into the high day and then come back. Soon. And then we also have the excuse me. All right. All right, interesting. So it's 9:05 Eastern. Market regular trading hours opens up in 25 minutes, a little bit less. Let's mark off. Let's get down to 15 minutes. Let me just one more minute at the 60. Let's see what we notice here. So we're inside this bearish inversion for value gap. We're respecting it. That's this over here, right? We're sitting inside it. We wicked above it, but haven't closed above it. We're coming back down slowly. We have a 1 hour BISI over here and all these wicks down here. on the hour and lower, actually, we're seeing signs of bearishness because we closed below this leg up. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, so on the unless if you're going to say that wicking below also counts as a change in state of delivery or a market structure shift, I forget which one ICT said that about, maybe both. Then you would say on the 4 hour as well. But looking at the 1 hour, it's quite likely that we've come down, changed in state of delivery, retraced. How far up have we retraced? We've retraced into premium of this leg. Right, we're above we're above equilibrium for this dealing range. Didn't quite make it to 62% unless we want to go with just the bodies, and then we're not even halfway. So, but I believe that ICT says that for 50% you use the whole range, including the wicks. So we're just now coming back below 50% of that range. So that's good. We've retraced. Okay. And we've said that said that the dealing range that we're going to focus on is this 4-hour dealing range from here to there, in which case we are definitely in premium. And even if we go just from here to there, we were still in premium, maybe now we're slightly below. All right, now let's look at the, so we're in premium with the recognition that if we were to come down to 50% equilibrium of this dealing range, it would be below this intermediate term low here. And this, I'll just draw it here one more time. All right, or yeah, so the equilibrium is right above, it's right below those two relatively equal lows over here, which are precisely equal lows, and it's slightly above this one. So we could be targeting these relatively equal lows, and price could go even lower, but that's certainly a rationale that we have for going lower. Let's go down to the 15-minute. All right, 15-minute. So we have this 15-minute SIBI from back on last Thursday, which we've respected twice. Then we ran above it and then closed below it. This is right, we have this balanced price range, which gives us another reason to think that we're not going higher. We tend to respect a balanced price range because price is balanced, and there's a chance or likelihood that we're going lower after that. I wanted to get the regular trading hours marked off here. So we have yesterday's close. This is 4 p.m. This is the, let's get our opening, whoops. Too many lines over here. Opening range gap. One second. Are we higher than this or lower than this? Actually, I have to check. Oh, we close at 8:04, and currently we are. Where are we? Oh, we're higher. Okay, so we're at 8:50. Regular trading hour gap. This would be June 10th. June 10th, and it's the low. Oops. And soon we'll have a place to mark off the other end, the high of that. And I'll just prepare it. High will be somewhere around over there. Opening range gap, also called the regular trading hour gap, June 10th high. And okay, so that gives us another reason to be going short, or to expect that we're going short, is at least, there's likelihood that we at least retrace 50, right? ICT says that there's I think it's a 70% chance that we retrace into the opening range gap. So now we have already had a number of reasons to believe that going lower is likely, and this would give us one more. Okay, so because we have this gap here, roughly 50 points approximately, and down to here is 121 points. All right, so I will be looking for signs that we're going lower. I would probably want to see that we manipulate higher and then show signs of reversing, retracing, and then look to get in short. That's what I would be anticipating. If we instead go higher, then I'm not going to get in until, until I see that we're likely forming a market maker buy model, a full market maker buy model, and then I'd be looking to catch the last leg, or maybe the the middle to the first stage distribution to second stage distribution, or second stage to original consolidation. I think that's less likely. I think more likely is that we are in a market maker sell model, and we're going to perhaps form the smart money reversal when market opens, and then come back down, and that's likely part of a higher time frame market maker sell model, where perhaps this would be original consolidation, and then we've accumulated, smart money reversal, came back down. This would be the low risk entry before heading back down to here, which would probably be qualify. If we call that the original consolidation, then I guess that would be accumulation, the whatever the word is, terminus. Or arguably we can say this is original consolidation, and we're going to come all the way back down to the Thursday low as part of this market maker sell model. So either way, we can certainly see how we are in a higher time frame market maker sell model. But if we're actually now in an even higher time frame, we're in a buy model, right? There's no question about that. The daily time frame, we're in a market maker buy model. The question is, and for trading over the coming hours, what's relevant? What is relevant? And it seems to me that we're in a market maker sell model. We can argue that this is accumulation, further accumulation, retracement, a mitigation block there. I don't fully understand mitigations. I get it when it's at the end of a dealing range. I don't get it. I haven't wrapped my head around it fully yet when we're in the middle of a range, so we'll see. But let's go to a 5-minute time frame. So market opens in 15 minutes. Market opens in 15 minutes. Again, now let's look at a 5-minute time frame here. So if this is a market maker sell model, and these are the relatively equal lows, which would be our target. Let me make that thicker. What do we have here? This is a first presented for value gap from a day or two ago. From I guess it's Friday. I don't remember. And we've continued to work it, to respect it. So I'm going to leave it on. Right, see that? Even though it's all the way from back, from last week, Wednesday, June 4th. So we've continued to work around it and respect it. So I'm going to still leave it on. This is yesterday's first presented fair value gap. So we're going to keep that on as well. And we'll be looking to add today's when we get to it. So we have this inversion. This is a bullish inversion. I only mark this as, I just add a minus if it's bearish, otherwise it's presumed to be bullish. And the number's 5, in this case 5 minutes. I don't indicate whether something is minutes. Default is minutes. Anything else I'd mark as hours or daily or whatever. Let's mark off this intermediate term low over here / relatively equal low, because this may end up being right? So on the 5 minute here, we see this relatively equal low, intermediate term low here. Let's mark off the weekly open. It's getting a little hard to see that way. Things are getting crowded one over the other. Truth is, I don't think we need to see the weekly open on these lower time frames. Leave that for higher time frames. That's much better. Here's our change in the state of delivery or market structure shift. Also have this 5 minute BISI over there. We have another 5 minute BISI over here. That's 804.5 down to 8. Yeah, it's like less than 5 points or about 5 points. Close enough to be considered relatively equal lows. We also have over here, we'll call that an intermediate term low because that could be a level where we see price slow down a bit. I don't see relatively equal lows, but definitely a swing low. And then we have this rejection wick over here, which if we do come down, because we have further liquidity right below the hourly relative equal low, let's go back to the hourly, we see we have a BISI right below it, right? So we have this, if this is our target, we still have a lot of liquidity below. We're slightly above 50% of this dealing range here. And we have this liquidity that has been imbalanced. So there's further sell side below there. So if this is our target, we probably would come all the way down the wick. All right. But don't know. Notice how on this wick, let's see how, let's put the quadrants on there. Right. The next hour, we wick down into just below 50% before going higher. Wicks are treated as gaps, ICT teaches. So I don't know exactly how that will play out when we're coming down a second time, but I'm just keeping that in mind. Come back to the 5 minute. And let's also pull up the 1 minute. I'm going to keep the 1 minute on the side. Moving our anticipated opening range gap high, although a lot could change. So we have a lot of chop, very going sideways on the 1 minute. Put in a SIBI over here, came back up, rejected from that. But we, a low, lower, 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 low, and so on. Came back up here, BISI. We have to see what happens over here. Again, what I would like to see is that we open up, manipulate higher, and then come back lower. I'm going to take a pause before market opens.
Order filled. Stop filled. Order 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 filled.
Well, I've been talking and talking, and it seems that I've been on mute the whole time. All right. Well, okay, we're forming a bit of a wedge, and there's low resistance liquidity below us, but also some above us. So we might wick above into drawdown briefly before going lower, and hopefully we do go lower. Although hopefully we don't even wick above. We just drop because, let's see, 10 minute, 15 minute. It's less of a, I mean, this is only on the lower time frames there. All right. Okay. Let's see the 15 minute here. So we've respected the 15 minute SIBI here. No bodies closing inside yet. 15 minute bodies, that is. So we got 5 minute. We've had some 5 minute. But as I said, we did come up now and above this liquidity here, and hopefully we're gonna right away turn around and drop like a stone. Now we've taken liquidity above these recent highs, and hopefully from here it's going to be straight down. If not, I'm going to have to make some quick and consequential decisions. All right, let's see if we wick above previous high of day before going lower, or if let me see. Still think that we're bearish. I've got this hourly balanced price range. Low resistance liquidity all over here. But if we were to, let's say, close above this SIBI on the 15-minute, I would probably just have to close out the whole trade because I mean, that would just put the whole thing into too much uncertainty. All right, is this the move I've been waiting for? Let's hope so. If we go back up, I'm taking off that at least one contract, I'll probably take off two just because it would need a reevaluation with a clear head. Right, if we go back above there, I'll get out of break even, although we're already at a loss because they've lost a nice chunk from previous two losing trades of about $50 each, and then another $33 loss, while dollar cost averaging.
Stop field.
All right. So that two of those contracts, we had two contracts. One was a loss, one was a win. They basically balanced each other out. So far, I started the stream up $172, and now we're up $36. So that wasn't definitely wasn't what I was hoping for. Look at this choppy price action. All things considered, I'm glad it wasn't worse off. Interesting, a bullish argument I see is that we did come down about halfway into the opening range gap here. Now, I don't know if that means that we're finished. I don't think we are. I still think we're looking bearish, and I'm just going to wait and look for another opportunity to enter. Four-hour. Let's get rid of some of this. Actually, I'm going to go back down here to the 1 minute and look for another entry opportunity, which might be developing. I don't want to. I don't want to, after all that, miss the move. Still have liquidity above here, which, there we go, took it out. And we might just maybe take out the high day one more time. Maybe that's the three drives. Maybe that would be the third of, maybe. And then we would turn around and go down. Or maybe this is 3 drives. All in all, while I'm down, I am pleased because I think my analysis was pretty good. It didn't fully play out, but again, could be largely due to all this chop. My execution wasn't very good. My timing, right? I had two losses right after market open. One at a trade I entered, like, what was that, 9:31? Another trade I entered 9:35 or 6. Let's see. Entering one short.
Order filled.
Based on the 15-second. Still not fully sure how to balance the 1 minute and the 15-second.
Order filled.
I think I need to wait until we at least have a inversion on the 1 minute, if not higher. Low there is 865, and the low there is 865. So we have precise equal lows there.
Order filled.
At a third micro for a short scalp here of 15 points about. I have this wick up here, this intermediate term high with these swing highs to either side. Hopefully that's protected. I want to see this BISI close below. Just gonna see if we can see that more clearly. No. Well, we didn't close below the BISI yet, but we did close below these pushes higher. Not sure if that's significant enough in the scheme of things, but All right, we're 10:24 a.m. Eastern Time. All right, took
Order
off that
filled.
third contract because it's just too risky. It's not the behavior I was anticipating. Not worth an extra, $30 and a 15-point win. I can always get back in. So that was a $7 loss on that. If this runs up against me into above all-time highs, let me see, what would that be? Oh, can't even see that here. Hold on. It's 50, 25 points, 50, that's a $100 loss. Just up to there in drawdown. I mean, shouldn't do that.
Order filled.
Added it back in. Let's see if we go lower.
Order filled.
I added a fourth short micro at 877.5, which is right there. Dollar cost averaging, aim is to take it off very soon. And same for, I'm going to take off both of these. Let's see, I might take this off manually. Sorry, I might take this one off manually as well. I might move this up. We'll see what happens. I'm still aiming for a two contract trade primarily. Actually, I'm going to put this here in case we just drop like a stone, but I got my finger on the buy button to take it off if we disappoint. The buy limit order at 866.5. That's the one, the top buy limit order. That would be just slightly below all of the short entries. So like maybe a break even essentially, or a dollar profit on whichever one is next. I don't need that. I'd happy to take it off for a small loss too. That's why I'm just watching. Most important is to not incur bigger losses if we curl back up. Where it took
Order
me
filled.
because there's no way I would DCA more than a total of 4 contracts at this point. So we need to get that out when we were lower than the entry, right? Only a few points, but it could be helpful. Just doesn't make sense. I thought my macro settings for these lines are only on 2 minutes. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Wow. Still respecting this. Was it 5 minute? Really want to see a close below this. All right, the last. Wow. This is not normal, healthy price action to be trading in. Guess it could be typical no news day before a big news day. I was about to take off another contract just to be safe. Let's see if we stay below break even. No. All right, let's hope this is the move. Not for the first time. Okay, this is our first presented fair value gap of the day. Just came back up to it twice. Not going into it. Wicked through it, came back down. Oh, wicked back up above it. There's the 15 seconds, so. All right, took off
Order filled.
one of the contracts because if we're not going lower, then it's just too dangerous, too risky. And if we are going lower, where I think we are, then I'll make enough profit from 2 contracts, at least to get back to where we were, hopefully. For all this ugly, ugly, ugly chop. All right, I think the right thing to do is to get out and just wait for some more common price action to return, hopefully later. Like, we're just not going anywhere, and it's costing me. If we close above this, that becomes a reclaimed BISI. We have all this low resistance liquidity building up over here, being engineered. I'm sure we're going to go for it sooner rather than later.
Order filled.
Well, I'm not sure when. I just added a contract back. Maybe a little bit too impulsively. Yeah, seems like it. All right, we're probably going to take out today's highs. The first presented for value. Oh no, that's BISI 5 minute. Okay. Oh, here's the first presented for value gap.
Order filled.
Added a fourth contract just to be safe, and I mean, not to be safe. I mean, hopefully we go down and take it off right here to win with 4 contracts. 2 of those are DCAs. So I'm going to take off one of them as soon as possible. Though we're at about where I got it right now, so I wanted to go lower. I want to hopefully take that off just in case we need a DCA.
Order filled.
So that contract was a $11.50 loss. We have this one is at relatively equal lows on the 1 minute time frame. As you can see over here, these 2 lows we put in, I put the buy limit at the higher one. This is the 5 minute BISI that we want price to close below on a 5 minute basis, which we haven't had yet. Got 16 seconds left in this current 5 minute candle. Still, oh no, sorry, 3 minutes and 16 seconds. I really hope that we take out this buy order right now. Help it'll go a significant way towards bringing this trade back towards profit. I mean, even though it's not it's not a huge, it's a 16-point move profit, right? So what, $32, but you know, assuming that the other 2 contracts end up in profit as well, it'll compound from there. So we've got these relatively equal lows over there, and then we have all this low resistance liquidity down here. Hopefully soon price will be free to just drop and not to come back higher again, although we have this, I guess it's like a real seek and destroy today, aren't we? I don't even know if it's seek and destroy, it's just so much close chop. I mean, getting down here might be asking a lot. Getting all the way down, no, that is the low. Getting all the way down there might be asking a lot. We'll see. There we go.
Order filled.
There we go. Okay. Okay, I actually want this second buy to be down here or down there. I'm going to move it down to 760 again, and there's a good chance I'll take it off before that, but I at least want it on the chart where I could see it relative to where we are. And we still need to see that 5-minute BISI closed over. We keep coming down and just not doing it. This is very difficult price action. I'm better understanding it. Like, really, I shouldn't be trading in this, but I'm already in it. That's not, I guess, a good reason, because part of what I need to learn is to just walk away during bad price action. But I feel like I've been handling it okay. I'm not letting my losses get out of control. If I was to cut the trade right now, I would be up. I would have lost $100 approximately on the day, like from not. Again, I started up $172 before the stream, so I'm now up $70 as price is right this second where it is. Not so bad. I've had the dollar cost average several times to keep this, where we went up. I never had more than 4 contract micros. That's good. I've definitely over contracted other times. And even though all of you are not listening to me. There's nobody here but me. Knowing that you might pop in any minute is helpful. And just talking this out loud is helpful. So we took off that contract over here, that third contract over here, retraced back up. Let's see here. And let's see if we're going to, if this 5-minute candle closes below that BISI here, then we might start to get somewhere. Minute and a half left to the 5-minute candle. It's a 50-point move. So that would basically bring us back to where we started on one contract. And then if we go further, the other contract would put us higher. If we don't, hopefully I have an opportunity to get that other contract out at least close to what the first contract comes out at. So we have some profit and not less. Actually, I mean, we should be $100 profit unless the price retraces all the way back to break even for this before I get the second contract out, because it's $100 times 2, so it's $200. We are at this very moment $115 and down from 172 or 176 where I was before we started the stream. So I could take both contracts out over here and it'll be up 100 about. But I really think that we're going lower, and I don't want to after literally spending, I don't know, an hour and a half on this trade. I'd like to, and it looks like we're finally breaking out of the chop, possibly. Not yet so clear, but wait, looky here. We closed below the 5-minute BISI. That's the 5-minute BISI. We closed below it. All right, so now that would be a 5-minute inversion for a value gap. 5-minute bearish inversion for a value gap. Still in the back, that's good. Still engineering more sell side. Hopefully this ends up being something of a balanced price range. Let's look at the 15-minute. I want to see a candle at least wick below. That's today's opening range gap high. So at least wick below the opening of this bullish leg and then close below it shortly after. And this is the 1 minute. What is this? This is an hourly, I think, right? Yeah, I don't need that on the 1 minute. Let's put it up to 15-minute. There's too much noise here. Oh, right, we're in the 1050 macro. I didn't even notice. So focused on other things. All right, 1050 macro opened here. I sure hope we're not just coming down to go back up. That would, I hope this isn't one of those hours. Which was a way of sending to the back as part of the template, but there doesn't seem to be. This is such messy price action.
I said that you're watching me learn real time. Not that I even have to explain myself. Maz Ahmed asked me to check his name on the Google Forms list. Sure. Maz. Yeah, you're here. You entered. You're good. How many more do I have left? I think I did 3, right? Oh. You right.
All right, not looking very, not looking great. I mean, we're back at break even again.
This is wild, the sell-off on this day. Yeah, this is probably a tariff. Yeah. Okay.
Relatively equal highs, but short of the max.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into trading commodities more nowadays. CL is just on a tear on to the upside since if you turn on art.
We're going to wick above high day one more time.
Order filled.
One contract. We got one contract left. If we go higher, I'll just and if it looks like we're going to retrace back lower, I'll add it back in. If we don't go higher, I'm probably not going to add it back in just because I'd have to see. Price action is so terrible. I just have to see how we, have to see signs of continuing lower before I add it back in. And we're not seeing any kind of continuation signs at all. Except here on the 5 minute, if we close again below this 5 minute BISI, I might add it back in at a lower price point than before, but I needed to protect risk, protect myself. I will wait for the next 5 minute candle to close. If I miss out on an extra contract going lower, then so be it. At this point, if I get out of this trade with, close to what I had this morning, that will be a win because I'll have gotten back to where I was and also have learned a lot. That's what I'm watching here. You got to close below that in 22 seconds. Okay, we did. Now I'll see us retrace higher a little bit, although we may not. We have this balanced price range here. Let's see if we go up into it and then reject lower. If we reject lower, I'll add a contract. Watching the 30 second, I see. Let's make it 15 second for entry signal. Right,
Order filled.
added one contract lower. Gonna move that first buy limit down to the low here instead of the bodies. So I've got two contracts, two micros. Added a third
Order
one
filled.
because, hold on. because I hope we're respecting this. I might have been too quick on that too. Third one is meant for a quick win, hopefully. It can take about 15, 16 points. 17. And if we go higher, I'm just going to take the loss. They're commenting that we didn't have any bodies in the 15-minute SIBI, but we did develop bodies in the 15-minute SIBI, but all below consequent encroachment. So, but again, none of this means all that much in this type of price action. It's just so choppy. It's like really very difficult to trade. And really should not be trading, honestly. Uh-huh. In addition to other things, the U.S. and China are in the midst of trade talks in London, and I just see a headline that they concluded trade talks in London. It was yesterday and today, and hopefully we're not about to get some headline that just blows us in the wrong direction. Right. Just took off.
Order filled.
It's just a bit ridiculous. I can no longer, even though I think price act, the chart looks like we were pointing lower. It's just, I still think ultimately we're heading down here, but I can't be sure that it's in the next hour. So we'll see. All right, so I'm down on that account. I was up $172, I think it was, and now I'm down 38. So not great, but not terrible for this type of price action. And I handled myself pretty well emotionally. All right. Another mistake I made in the past often is just getting caught in the chop and thinking that, each time thinking that, this time it's going to be, this is the move, right? And that is another thing I need to move beyond. And so I am not going to just get in anytime soon. So much spam.
Order filled. Order filled.